Okay, so it's been 9:33. Okay, 9:33 a.m. So we may proceed to our talk series. Okay, first of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning for all honorable lecturers and participants of this 13th PPKA talk series. So dear all lecturer, I am Rozaimi bin Zakaria as the moderator of today's PPKA talk series. I'm very pleased to see you here and welcome all of you to this talk series. Today, our talk series is about the engaging student in an online learning environment. So our speaker today is Associate Professor Dr. Kenneth Rodrigues, currently as a Deputy Director of Center for E-Learning UMS. He has been involved in conducting training in technology-enabled learning, MOOC design and development, and content creation since 2017. And also, he has conducted an international MOOC and was involved in the development of the recently launched National Policy on Inclusive Open Educational Resource, or ER, and his scientific expertise in the area of molecular biology. He has conduct training for employees of national agency involved in public health, as well as university lecturers and students in both online and classroom environments. So this morning, sharing session will focus on the strategies for conducting interactive learning in online environment, as well as the tools which are currently used by educators to create an engaging environment. So now, allow me to welcome the speaker, Associate Prof. Dr. Kenneth Rodrigues, to deliver his presentation. So, Doctor, the floor is yours, Doctor. Thank you.
Ya, terima kasih. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, and salam Penceramah. Thank you very much, Dr. Rozaimi, for inviting the Center for E-Learning, because I only represent the Center for E-Learning in the capacity as the staff of Center for E-Learning as Deputy Director. Thank you very much for inviting the Center for E-Learning and giving us this opportunity to share with you, as well as to learn from you as to what tools you are using for interaction. Now, in today's session, right, I will use two elements. The first element which I'm going to look at is the basis for interaction. How do we set up interaction? Okay, I will set up some key points. So I'm going to share my slide, and I'm going to give you a link to my slide later, so you can access it and you can use it for your own presentations. You can reuse it. It's perfectly okay. You can remodify and reuse. Okay, so I'll share that link with you. And I will also be interacting with you using certain tools. Okay, now I'm not a trained educator as some of you may be. I'm actually a molecular biologist. So most of this, what I've learned is from Prof. Fong and Prof. Karim and the rest of the giants from e-learning. Okay, so I acknowledge their contribution to my process of learning. Okay. So let's go straight into I'm going to go into a short presentation, but with links. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this is the major anxiety with online education, online teaching, is whether the system will work properly. So I come early and I set it up, but again, you're anxious at that moment, and that is actually adding to the apprehension of the teacher or the trainer in a class. For example, your systems don't work properly, and then you have to, okay, so hopefully you can see it. So, okay, now in an online learning ecosystem, I can't see you. Okay, that's the first point. I cannot see your face. Most of the cameras of the students will be turned off either because of bandwidth or because of privacy issues. Okay, so that's one of the first limitation. Now, when I am with you, there's a certain kind of energy. Okay, in the class, there's an energy. What we call, what the younger generation call vibe. There's something called vibe. That's why we go to a certain place, because of the feeling We are not going there for the actual experience, but we are going for the feeling which you get. Now, in an online ecosystem, that the whole system changes because there is no sense of interaction. You cannot connect with the person. You cannot look into the eyes. You cannot see their body language. So that's the first limitation. Okay, so ideally, right, I should be standing up in interactive session and I should be using my hands, using more of my hands. But I can't do that because of the limitations of the camera. So if you have the a good video facility, that's the first step. Okay, so that's one of the first limitations of interaction. You can't really connect with the speaker because you cannot see their hands and their body language. Okay, so if you can overcome that, it's okay. So let's look at the elements of learning and what we are going to do today. I'm sharing my slide as an Adobe document because I'm afraid of the process. It may hang if I share PowerPoint in a normal setting. Okay, so I just bear with me with the Adobe setting. So what are we going to do or learn today? What are we going to discuss today? The first thing I want to know is how do we engage in an online environment? Now, where does it start? Where does that process of engagement start? Does it start straightforward when I start the lecture? It does not start that in that manner. It starts much earlier than that. So we are going to discuss that. And in your chat box, I want you to put some kind of links or some kind of comments related to your experiences with regard to the various kinds of tools which you use for e-learning online or interacting online rather. Okay, so now what happens in a traditional training environment is that we introduce the tools. Okay, I'll introduce you to these Flipgrids, how to use the conditional logic in Smart V3, Edpuzzle, interaction with Jamboard and Discord, and I'll also show you some mind mapping tools. Okay, so I'll show you multiple set of tools. But before I confuse you with all these tools, I want to establish the basis for interaction. Okay, so what are the things which we need to do from the educator's perspective for interaction? I'll go through them very briefly. Okay, and I call it the guidelines for engagement. Now, this is not created by me. This is actually from various sources. I have gone through the internet, I have gone through various seminars, and I have compiled a set of guidelines for engagement based on what educators actually do. Okay, let's start first by doing ice breaking. Okay, and we'll interact now. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you to scan the QR code with your phone, and I'm going to open it in a Flipgrid. Okay, this is the first element of interaction. Now, why do we do this in a class? Okay, now let's look at the education system as it is. Many of us have children in school who are in e-learning system now. They are experiencing that. Some of us have experienced it at different levels in meetings and so on and so forth. Now, what's happening in the school system? Okay, I see what's happening when children open their screen. Okay, in a normal school, the teacher will open the screen. The student will see the lesson plan and whatever the teacher is executing a procedure, a lesson plan. They have already pre-programmed the lesson plan and then they're executing it in the class. So the students hardly get any time to interact. They don't have time to have what is known as a holistic interaction, because your interaction in the class is not only your cognitive ability, it's also your emotion interacting in the system. So a student in school, they will go, they will fight, they will interact, they will argue, but the teacher will tell them, keep quiet. But in an online classroom, all that thing is not there. So what do we need to do? We need to establish ice breaking. And the reason why we do this is because in the social media world, everyone has to be given what is known as the presence. We need to give them something known as presence or ability, because okay, what's there in that classroom is not a physical face and a body over there. It's actually the ego and the intelligence. Now, if I do not acknowledge you, I'm just talking, I do not acknowledge your ego. So the first step is to welcome you into the class. So the way we do this is we use something known as Flipgrid. Now I want you to scan this and I will show you the Flipgrid and I will share with you what's happening in the class right now. Okay. Hopefully, again, everything works online. So now I have educator group. I hope you can see my screen. Dr. Rozaimi, I'll have to check with you. Can you see the screen with the kuching there? Cat face. Can you see the screen?
Can Dr.
Okay. Now what I did is, before I begin this class, now I'm the lecturer. This is what I do in all my classes. I will actually create a video for the class. Okay, I'll show you how it is. You can actually open the Flipgrid and you will see this video there. Maybe you cannot hear it because of I turn on the audio, okay, for a while. Okay, so this is what I do. Okay, so this is me. Hello, Selamat Pagi. A very good morning to you. My name is Kenneth, and in this training session, we will be learning how to interact with students in a virtual environment. The first element of interaction involves giving your student a presence or a face in the class. And Flipgrid is one of the tools which enables this in a virtual learning environment. I look forward to receiving your responses in the Flipgrid. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the training. Stay safe. Hello, Selamat Pagi. Okay, now this is actually the Flipgrid. Okay, if you can see, if you have seen this, this is the Flipgrid ecosystem. So what we do in the class, the first thing which I do with all my students, and this is recommended by many educators across the board, is to ask them to introduce themselves in a Flipgrid format. So I want you to try it out. All you need to do is scan the QR code and then you can share it on Flipgrid. Okay, interact. My class is called Interact at Ppka. Okay, hopefully I got that correct. And I will see your responses here. I will share with you. So those of you who have a handphone around, or you can even click on you can scan the QR code, just try it. I just want to give you a feeling of interaction. Okay, and then you notice how you will feel before you interacted and after you interact. Yes, I wait for your responses. Okay, I just give you 5 minutes. You just record it. You can scan with your handphone. Actually, you scan your handphone, you scan it, and then you record your video and you just post. Okay, if you can't interact or if you have a problem, just inform me. I will give you a link.
I think Dr. Kenneth, you may have to give the link because
Okay.
the scan is taking me to something else.
Okay, Prof. Okay, Prof. I will give the link. Okay, so one second. I will just go to the next tab and I will give you a link. I think because it's online. Okay, so I will share a link. Share and I will give a link. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you a Flipgrid code. So you'll have to go to Flipgrid. I will share the link with you. Share QR code. Prof, you cannot share scan QR code. Yes, Dr. Rozaimi.
I'm sorry, for the new user, that means we have to download the apps first, isn't it? Before we can scan it.
You have to go, okay, go to flipgrid.com, and I'll give you a code. Okay, I'll give you a code in the chat window. Okay, so I'm going to put up a chat window code. Okay, so. Okay, so I'm going to go to chat and I'm going to give you a code. Okay, so here's the code. You can click on the link, and if you're on a computer, if you're on your desktop, laptop, that will take you to the site. You don't have to log in. It's a grid for the class I created. It may ask you to log in if your computer is set for secure, but generally it will not ask you. So just record a message and don't worry about privacy. I will delete it after the session. Prof, can you access now?
Hi, Dr. Kenneth.
Yeah.
It says there the link is not ready for sharing yet.
Okay, it's actually online now.
Thank you.
Same here. It says isn't ready for sharing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we have the status. This isn't ready for sharing yet. Ask your group lead for more details.
Okay. I open it for sharing. That's the challenge again, which comes when it's online. Active. Okay, it's active now. Can view and respond to the link. Okay, share. Okay. Settings. Active. Okay. Is it active now? Because it's active on my screen. Still Doctor active or not active? Because it's active here. Now.
Still says isn't ready for sharing.
Oh, okay. But it's the link.
Yeah, the same.
Okay, I copy a new link. Okay, Prof, I will share with you again. Sorry about that because that's the way the system is sometimes. That's what happens. Copy link. Okay. Try this, Prof.
Okay, we got the access now.
Okay, good. Thank you. This is one of the challenge again. Then we get confused, kanchong. Okay, so should be okay. Okay, now I have created a grid. I have done it in the morning, so I just record and straight away through I upload. It should be okay. Okay, I'll refresh and I will see it as it uploads. It takes about, this is actually, the Flipgrid is actually made for short videos, for small videos where you just want to upload a short introduction. It's not made for long recording. So they give you around, if I'm not mistaken, 90 seconds, but you can do interesting things in it. You can add music and you can also add like background. Okay, so you can add your own background or you can even change yourself into emoji. Hello, selamat pagi. Okay, so we have links coming up.
Dr.
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Kenneth,
Yeah.
I can only see that the link actually takes me to your video just now.
Oh, it does not take you to Flipgrid? Okay.
I'm not sure how to respond. Yeah.
Okay. I will usually for the first class, what we do is we add the members. Okay, so I have to add you. I think I have to add you manually. Are you on a UMS network now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. So take time. So I have to add W. Okay, get a blank screen. Okay, one second.
After we can play the video, but
Yeah.
it's blank screen.
Okay. You cannot add member, right? So I will add you. So what I have to do, I have to add you by your email or domain name. Okay, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to at the rate of UMS. Just add. Okay, can you try now? I added at the rate of ums.edu.my, so everyone should be able to come in. So okay, one second. I have to extract your names. Actually, what we do in a classroom setting is we actually add students in that individually, but this can also be done in a setting. Okay. Can you add now? Because I have added ums.edu.my as members. Okay, I can see you now. I can see Dr. Amirul and Dr. Jekyll. Thank you. That's because of the security settings on the UMS server. That's what's happening. Okay. You should be able to add now. Just try it out just for fun. Is it difficult to upload? Hello, Slum. Hello, Slum. You cannot see the thing. Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Beatrice. I can see you now. Okay, I will share with you if you don't mind, and I will delete it later. So I can see you now with your.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
okay, I will
you.
share it. I hope you don't mind. So for now, okay.
Hello, my name is Beatrice. Hi.
Okay, excellent. Good. Good. That's it. So this is how we allow students to engage in the class and how we allow them to first introduce themselves. Okay, so we have comments coming in. I won't disturb you now because you will be recording and I will interrupt you. I just give around 3 minutes and then we proceed to the next part. So now you can see what's going to happen in class. So you will see all the faces turning up as we go along. Okay, so you can try this out in your respective classroom settings. And I will move on to the next part. Okay, I'll move on to my slides again. Okay, so while you're recording, you can record and upload, and I will show you the grid as it gets populated, what we call populated by the various lecturers or the various students, as the case may be. Now, this is the first element of interaction which you must introduce in the class, because if you do not have this element, then the rest of the class will not know who's in that class, and you won't know who those students are and what they look like and things like that. So the face is very important in terms of interaction, because that's the first thing which we see in the face. So we have the face and then the voice. So this is a good element. And then you can assure your students that you will delete it, because some of them may not want that interaction to be broadcast again. So you, after your session is over, usually after every session is over, I will delete everything and show them that the screen is deleted. Okay, I've deleted all the videos. So that's the first element of interaction, is Flipgrid. Now, this is how our process of developing content for online interaction actually commences. Now, in a conventional classroom, I walked into the class and I put up my lecture notes, which were shared to the students earlier. So I've shared it with them maybe 3 to 4 days earlier. They have read through the lecture notes and they have prepared for the class. So this is essentially like a flipped classroom environment, in which case the students gather, they incorporate the knowledge already into their learning process, and then you go into class and you discuss the lecture notes. Now, in an online learning environment, the scenario changes slightly, because the first thing is the students themselves. For example, we are teaching 3rd year, 4th year. They were the pre-pandemic generation. Okay, they have never done online learning in a school system. So they are coming into year 1 class, for example, year 1. So they have not done, maybe they have 1 year experience. So they do not know what's online all about. So they are used to the formalized way of education, which is by rote, in which the teacher comes to class and they teach them in the classroom and so on and so forth. So they are not used to that. So what you need to do is, the first element is to prepare them for online engagement. So in the online engagement, we set the rules for interaction and for engagement. Okay, now, for instance, one of the easiest way to prepare them for online engagement is to create one small introductory video on YouTube or any other video sharing platform. It should be just 5 minutes. And in that video, you tell them about what they are going to learn in that particular class. Okay? Not the content itself, but what they will learn and how they will apply. For example, in this class, I may set up a video and says, in today's session, we'll be learning how to interact. And upon completion of this session, you will be able to apply the tools for interaction in your own personal classroom setting. That may be an introduction. And then you can briefly introduce them to the tools. Now, this does the first step, which is priming them for the class. If you don't do priming initially, when you go into the class, they are not primed. So you start off with your lecture notes and then it becomes very static. So they don't have any kind of prerequisite knowledge. Now, the way we function is we need some kind of priming. For example, you have a movie, but you have a trailer before the movie. So the trailer prepares you. It creates that sense of anticipation. So this is what you need to create in that small 3-minute or 5-minute video. So that's what I always do before classes. And a lot of educators recommend that we do that as a priming exercise. So that's the first set of rules for engagement in a classroom setting. Now, the next one is learning outcomes must be reiterated. Now, learning outcomes are not only confined to our table 4.2, they actually need to be brought to life or reiterated in every session. For example, if I'm teaching a class in molecular biology, I will always reiterate how that topic is related to something they will apply to in the real world. So there's a learning outcome. So upon completion of this topic, you should be able to apply this knowledge. And then you have to give them the avenues for application of that knowledge. And this needs to be reiterated in every lecture, because if you're going to teach 14 lectures and you have 2 or 3 learning outcomes, you need to reiterate them continuously. In an online learning environment, it's very easy to get lost in what is known as transition or translation when you are teaching continuously. It becomes very monotonous and very, how do you say, boring. So I'll just interrupt for a while with the Flipgrid and I will try to find out who has responded. Okay, so let's look. I refresh and I still have 2 responses. So I'll wait for responses as they come along. Okay, now the next one is what is known as content, clarity, organization, and flow. Now, online class is just like we have a learning plan or teaching plan. We need to set up the teaching plan before we go in. For example, what are the elements which I'm going to introduce to in the class and how do I enable them to interact using those elements? Now, if you go to this slide, right, I've shared it with you in your chat window. It's if you're on a UMS Office 365 account, you should be able to access that link and you can download the slide and you can reuse it and repurpose it as the case may be. Now in the slide, I have actually put something links. So this is actually going to take you to ThingLink. I will introduce you to something known as ThingLink. Okay. So this is the first learning element which I'm going to introduce you, which is ThingLink. How many of you have used ThingLink before? Anyone, you can shout out in the microphone or you can put in the chat window. I cannot see the chat because I'm on I'm watching the screen. So has anyone used ThingLink before? Yes or no? Any of you have used ThingLink?
No.
Okay, so, okay, so we are going to learn how to use ThingLink. So this is the first element which I want to introduce you, which is clarity and organization of the content. Okay, what is ThingLink? ThingLink is actually a system which allows you to use multiple links to create an interactive environment. Okay, I'm going to log in with my account. So to go into ThingLink, all you do is log in, and usually I log in with my Office 365 or the Google account. Now, when you log in using your Microsoft or your Office or your Google accounts, which is ums.edu.my, this will allow you to interact with the system more efficiently because it's identifying you as a .edu account. Okay. Now, what is this ThingLink? ThingLink allows you to create content online and organize it in a specific manner. Okay, I'll show you how it actually does it. So there is some content online. Okay, so this is just a sample content I created. It's generic. Okay, now this is a image of a location. Okay. There are multiple ways in which you can make this interactive. You can insert links to other locations. You can insert images or you can insert links to videos as well. Okay, so now this is a interactive map. So if you're from an engineering background, or you're teaching a complex subject such as geography or maybe engineering or maybe electronic circuitry or maybe even a network. You're creating a network in social sciences environment. You're trying to draw a network and you want to create points of interaction. All you need to do is in this particular system, you need to upload a image. So these are sample images I've created for the presentation for today. Now, this is an image of a location, but it also contains various elements of that. So for example, I click on this link, it will show you a map. Okay, that's the map of the location. It will show you information. So you can insert information in the image and you can upload content in the image as well. This is a very good avenue for your students to express themselves. For example, you can produce this kind of an image and you can ask them to interact. For example, you make 6 groups and one of them will be, for example, you're teaching tourism and you make 6 groups. One of them will tell you about the location itself. For example, the Google coordinates. One of them will put up links to for example, the flights, what flights are available to this location. The other one may put up links to the hotels, what hotels are available on that location, and so on and so forth. So this now becomes an interactive object for learning. So the next class, when you can show them that this is what you have created or learned with regard to this particular learning object. Now let's look at this. So how do you do this? You actually click on edit and then you can start editing the image itself. So this is an online platform. It's free to reuse. Of course, you cannot do certain functionalities such as sharing it in a commercial setting, but you can share the links itself. So once you do it, you can add tags. So the different kinds of tags which are added to this, if you can see on this drop-down box, you can add text and material, which is basic text. You can add a label text, and you can add content from website, which means you can incorporate a website into this particular image itself. You can create a tour, which is a virtual tour, in which case you go step by step. You can create a poll, and so on and so forth. For example, you can, if you're teaching tourism, for instance, you can show a particular location, create a poll, and you can put up poll questions in that, and you can actually ask the students to conduct a survey. Okay. For example, returning visitors to this location, what was your experience with that? So these are the various elements which you can incorporate in this particular website. Okay, I'm not going to do the actual setting now, but I hope you get a general idea, because you can use this particular link or this particular thing link to create interactive maps. Okay, and this not only extends to simple images, it also extends to videos. Okay, so if I close this, I can actually show you there are some videos and 360 images which you can use. For example, you can have an image of Sabah or an image of UMS. You can create a thing link based on that. Okay, so there are 360 images. Of course, with 360 images, you need to use a 360 camera to get the full image. Okay. So this is the first link which I want to share with you. Now, this is a 360 image. So you can have a 360 image of a location maybe in Sabah or Kundasang, and then you can show all the locations and hyperlink it to other things. Okay, so now this is the first type of interactive element which you can create, and you can ask the students to contribute to as part of a sharing session. Okay, I will close this and I will return back to our next interactions with the slides. Okay, I'm going to go back to my slide. There are too many windows, so I just log out from some and I show it to you. I log out or else it will clutter the whole screen. Okay, now the next thing about interaction. Okay, the first one we have seen is the links themselves. I will just show this to you because it'll hang the screen otherwise. So I will just show you as it is. So the next element which we need to consider after content clarity and flow, organization and flow, is the avenue for expression. Now, this is one very interesting experience which we have in an online environment. Now, not all students may want to express themselves in a written format. Okay, now there are different, for example, we give them an assignment. We say, please write a one-page summary, and these are the rubrics. That's what we teach them in a assignment setting. So not all students may be good in writing or expressing themselves in a written format. Some of them may also be good in expressing themselves in a video format, or they may be good in speaking. So you should give them multiple avenues for expression. Now, when I give my students assignment, I give them two options. One, you can submit a one-page assignment in A4 paper. You can write it by hand as well, because that actually eliminates plagiarism. So if you write it by hand, usually there's a less chance of copy and paste. Okay, so you eliminate plagiarism in that way. The other way is to actually enable them to use other media. For example, I'll tell my student, you can convert your one-page presentation into a 3-minute YouTube, TikTok, or Vimeo, or Instagram video. So that gives them two avenues for expression. Now, when we do this, we have to be careful with regard to the MQA. We need to create two types of rubrics for two levels of expression. So I do that for most of my students, because some of them may not be good in writing, but they may be good in expressing themselves. So two rubrics, two levels of expression, or two levels of assessment. Is that something which you all do? You do, or what is your experience with regard to that? Anybody has anything to share about expression and multiple rubrics for different types of assessments? You can just turn on the mic and speak if you need to speak about your experiences with the avenues for expression. And okay, so I move on to the next element, which is the engagement. Yeah, sure. Yes.
I just want to share my experience. Normally, I just ask them to create a video, to
Yeah.
record a video offline, and then get them to send me via Telegram or email.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amir. So do you have can you like enlighten us whether you have a different rubric for that as compared to the rubric for the normal assessment?
No, I don't have different rubric for that, but since you mentioned, maybe I have to consider, having the rubric for different avenues of expression. The only problem is that when they try to send the videos, there's a very small storage available on Smart V3, so they couldn't send on Smart V3. So we have to give them a few other platforms for them to send the videos.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Amir, for sharing that very useful insight. It's good that you are doing that. It's excellent. And with regard to the size, right, I would suggest that you ask them to create a link and then insert the link into the system, because the system is not designed to take large files. It has a file limit. And then if you have too many files, it will be difficult for you to actually access it because the download or the bit rate will be lower. So the best way is to create link, and when they create a link, it actually remains their private content as well. So they cannot say anything later that we download and reuse. So I suggest, but the other one is the rubric. So we create a rubric for that particular video. For example, it may be a rubric related to their ability to express themselves clearly, ability to think clearly and apply the content, what they have learned to a real life situation. Thank you, Dr. Amir. Anybody else want to share? Okay, so we move on to the next one. Please interrupt me at any time if you need to share anything, because this will enable the rest of our learning community at UMS to learn and share experiences. Okay, now this is another element of the education in the online space. Now, in the normal situation, actually we have that, we used to call it earlier, sage on the stage, where I am like the guru and then I teach you. So that doesn't apply anymore because the students have multiple avenues for information. Now, if you notice in your class that somebody is expressing leadership with regard to learning, okay, there'll be students earlier in our class, there used to be a student who used to sit in the first bench, first 2 or 3 rows. And whenever I'm speaking, before I finish my sentence, they interrupt you. So sometimes it feels offensive to lecturers because you're going in the flow, but usually in our online learning ecosystem, we encourage this kind because we are using a connectivist model for learning. So these kind of students can be picked up. For example, you identify these students who are always interacting in class and you pick them as leaders of groups to enable social networking. Now this does 2 things. First, it reduces the amount of load on you, okay, in terms of monitoring. And secondly, it shifts the responsibility or the ownership of the class to those group leaders. Now, when a group leader is creating that kind of interactive element in the class, he or she creates more leaders because they will use him or her as an example. So this is another element which you need to create in the classroom setting. Now, how do we do it online? We do it using the forums, and we create groups based on the forums. You can also use the wiki function. There's a wiki function. You can create a Wikipedia within the smart learning system. Okay, so you have 4 groups, 4 leaders and 4 wikis, and you enable them to network and create a project or a learning object with the online links. Okay, now coming down to this networking system, right? Do any of you use Discord? Is anyone using Discord?
Not at the moment for me.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anwir. Anyone knows about Discord, or have you all seen your children maybe at home, school going, or university children using Discord?
My son is active in Discord, but not the mother.
Okay. Does he use for game, doctor? For gaming? Or for
Yes, to communicate with his friend all over the world, or for gaming.
Okay, correct. That's what. Actually, Discord, I will go into Discord later because doctor mentioned it. Discord is a very good platform for education and and it's used by educators, and now it's being used all over the world. It's free platform and it's a Discord server. I can show you how to set up a Discord server, so you don't have to use WhatsApp anymore for your students. You give them a Discord server and you relegate that to Discord, and you don't have to keep checking up your WhatsApp. I will show you how to set it up very easily later on. Okay, so this is where we do the engaging with social networks. So that's where we do our social networking and engaging with the network. Okay, now the next one is cognitive overload. Now, because I cannot see you, there is a likelihood that I'm communicating more than you can actually grasp in a particular session. So I cannot overload you. Okay, I have to create that content so it's in a what they call the bite-sized piece. It should be just enough for the student to grasp in that session. Okay, now comes the what we call the paradox, or the thing about SLT, student learning time. Based on what we have, our current experience with SLT or student learning time, we have usually 2 hours lecture. Usually when we had our pre-pandemic day, we go into the class, we start the lecture, interaction about 1 hour, 45 minutes, and then we give 15-minute break, the student goes out, and then we start the next session. Now 2 hours is a little bit too long for an online session. It's going to create a lot of, element of, they will basically block out. So maybe about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then most of the students will log out. Now, for example, in Discord, right? You conduct your class in Discord. The limitation of Discord is you can only conduct it for 50 students, okay, the online training. But the server, you can have thousands of participants in the server. Now, when you're doing it in Discord, you can always ask them, are you understanding? And whoever responds, they will yes or no, and then they will actually capture their score, the response score, and then you can offer them a medal or award. Okay, I will show you how that is done using a dis bot. What is done as the Discord bot. Okay, I'll show you, and we can show it in Discord if you have the time. Okay, so this is cognitive overload. So ideally, your content should be in a smaller session. Okay, so if you want to plan your SLT, it can be, for example, 30-minute or 45-minute lecture or 30-minute lecture, and then the remaining you can edit as a video session. I think, is Puan Salmi around online today? If Puan Salmi is around, she can briefly tell about this, how we actually adjust the SLT so that we can have a lecture which is recorded, pre-recorded, and then an interactive session which is of a certain duration, and then we edit up in our student learning time. Okay, so I think Puan Salmi is not around, or else she would have explained this in more detail. Now, the next one about learning is in an online engagement system is applying what is learned. Okay, now I've given you an example of the ThingLink. ThingLink is actually applying what they learned in a different context. They can also, for example, if you're teaching exercises or physical education, and then you modify certain movements, or you're teaching dancing, seni, and then they have certain movements which you want to modify or incorporate, or new movements. Okay, this can all be incorporated in an online learning environment. And this is one of the advantages of the modern technology, that they can actually record themselves, because many of our lecturers from the creative arts, they actually ask their students to prepare videos of them executing certain movements. Okay, so they will be recorded in that way, and that one can be graded using a specific rubric. So this is when we do applying what is learned. Generally, for my students, what I will do is, in the scientific subjects, I will share with you, I create this kind of videos. Okay, these kind of videos are actually laboratory experiments which I record in the laboratory setting, and then I will ask them to watch this particular video. For example, this is a video I create. I'll just mute it and I will play it. So this is actually a video of a laboratory setting. I create this kind of video. They watch it. Of course, they cannot come to the laboratory during the EMC and PKP time, but they will actually watch the video, and I will ask them to prepare a report or a standard operating procedure based on the virtual video. Now, this ones take time, but this is one of the ways in which the student can interact with, and you can monitor their views to the video using analytics. Okay, suppose I create this video and then I click on the analytics tab. I will show you this analytics tab. Okay, the analytics tab will enable me to view who is watching the video at any given time. Okay, so for example, I want to watch, get a view of the last 48 hours or the last 60 minutes. For example, I told them watch the video today. And then I can actually monitor their usage of the video by using the particular link. Okay, so that's the analytics part of Google. Are any of you using this kind of approach for the Amali or the practical based subjects? Anybody wants to share? Anybody is using this kind of a video based teaching approach? For example, if you're agriculture, you can actually teach them how to plant, how to harvest, everything, almost everything on video format. You can do the Amali on video. If they cannot attend, you can actually ask them to watch and then respond and or write a report based on the video. Okay, so that's one of the elements which anybody wants to share about applying what is learned using a video-based teaching strategy. Okay, so I move on to the next one, which is the feedback and encouragement. Now, in a learning system environment online, it's very hard to actually say you've done very well or you give feedback online, because the message actually goes through. For example, you're in a chat window and then you say, well done, so-and-so at the rate of, and then that message actually goes through and that it's lost. So you only give feedback at that time, and they call it like it's within a few 5 seconds, the student forgot who got that feedback. So one of the facilities which we can use in the online learning system is to give them badges. Badges allows them to show, for example, you're the leader in responding to queries. So they get a leader board or a leader badge. Okay, that badging system can be done in an online learning environment. Okay, so I recommend that you all use the badges. We have badges online, and we can use these badges in our learning management system to award the students based on their interaction in class. And then finally, we have the elements of trivia, or what is known as fun. Okay, we need to, for example, in an online system, we cannot be too serious. So we need to at least put around 5 to 6 minutes of fun. Now that does not come into our table for and our student learning time, but you need to incorporate or improvise for that fun element in the class. Okay, I'll show you Discord after I finish this session. So otherwise I'll interrupt my flow and then it may hang. I'm worried it may hang. Okay. Now there are incentives for engagement. And these two incentives, as I mentioned, one is the grading system and one is the rewards. People will interact or talk to you, or even I will speak to you because of two reasons. One is I get something out of it, which is the grade. Okay, so I get a grade for example, you ask the students, please post one comment and you will get 1 mark, but then you have to record it in your table 4.2 again. So many marks are given for online interaction and the rubric for that. Okay, for example, they say, please post a comment on recent advances in the performing arts, and you can't ask them to, they will post something random. So it should be relevant. So you should tell them the rubric for that. It should be pertinent, it should be related to the course, and it should be applicable to what you are learning. So that's some of the things which you need to set up. So you can set up a grading system. So now generally we have our midterm, our assignment, and our final exam. So we can set up for online interaction with a particular rubric. And then we have a grading system for that. Because what we are having in class, right, when we are doing a lecture, when we are conducting a course or a program, it's actually a transactional arrangement. So we are transacting with the students. So everything that we do is recorded, everything which they do is recorded, and that turns up in their portfolio or their learning profile. Okay, so so we need to grade everything. If we don't create a grading system, then the likelihood of interaction is very low. For example, if I said, if everyone who posts comments today gets a certain point or a grade, or set, you will definitely post more comments and there'll be more interaction in the setting. So grading is very important. The other one is reward. Not all people are actually responding because of grade. Some of them are responding because they feel the need to respond. It's an emotional thing, or maybe they are looking for leadership. They want to appear in the social media or in the class as someone who is better off than others. Okay, so more likes, more shares, then that's the reward system. So the reward system can also be done to encourage participation, but it should be done using a specific set of criteria. For example, the student who provides the most relevant links to literature online, to my related subject, will get the highest badge. So you can create badges for them, badge for the platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and so on and so forth. You can have badges for the students, and then they display these badges and they try to outperform each other. So you're creating an environment in which there's a certain degree of competition, and it's not a competition based on marks. It's just a friendly peer-to-peer competition. That's what engages most students. Now, this is one of the most useful which I found in a class. I don't conduct it generally online in a workshop setting because the time is limited. But in my lectures, I will always do it. We have a pre-lecture quiz to identify the learning needs of the students. So what is the mode of interaction? How do I deliver this? I have a short video lecture based on what they will learn. And after that, there's a quiz. Now the quiz will actually enable me to identify the learning needs of the students prior to the class. So I'll have this quiz. It has no marks, and I will explain to the student, this quiz has no marks. Please answer it honestly based on your own, basically your own honest answer, your own honest opinion. Generally, I give them opinions rather than hard answer like yes or no. It's just an opinion. What do you feel about this? Or what do you think is the current trend in this, and so on and so forth. Now this quiz enables me to assess their pre-learning needs. In the middle of the lecture, I will have a mid-lecture quiz. Okay? And the mid-lecture quiz enables me to determine which students are attentive in the class. And then I have the post-lecture quiz to determine what they have learned. So if you have these three elements in your class, give them around 15 minutes for each. But please discuss the pre-learning outcome with the students. So when I give them a pre-learning quiz, I will show them the live quiz just using Google Forms. And then I tell them, oh, this is what you have learned. This is what your perception is. And this is what I need to teach you. So I'm communicating with them as I'm constructing what I need to teach them. So this is the importance of the pre-lecture quiz. The mid-lecture is just to get feedback in the middle. So I say, are you still there? Because most of the students, they will log in, they will answer, they will give their attendance and they will disappear. So you can also set up the attendance, for example, in the middle of the lecture, so they are still there. But I don't like to be too harsh in an online environment. Sometimes they can lose connectivity in the middle. So mid-lecture will allow you to enable who's actually in the class. And then the post-lecture is for your feedback and for your AD, your evaluation of the particular lesson or that particular lesson plan. Okay, so that's what we do. Now, in our smart learning management system, the Smart 3. Now the Smart 2 did not have this, but Smart 3 has what is known as a conditional logic. Do any of you all use conditional logic in Smart 3? Or do you want me to show you how it's used? Do any of you use conditional logic?
Can you show us, please, Doctor?
Not you're using? No, not using, right? Okay, so I will just close some of these because not much interaction is there in Flipgrid. So I will just turn off the Flipgrid so I can free up the server space for the Smart Tree. Okay. Okay. Now the Smart Tree itself, right? The Smart Tree learning management system can actually be used for conditional setting up conditional logic. I'll show you how it has been set up. Smart. Okay, I just go into my account and I will show you how to set it up. Now, what is this conditional setting? Generally, when we upload our content online, okay, for instance, I gave you the example of the introductory video followed by the quiz. The student can skip the video and they can go directly into the quiz, okay? And then they can skip the video and they can enter into my class. But then I do not know who has actually watched the video or not. For this reason, you can actually set up conditional systems in the Smart Tree. I'll just go into that and just give me time to log in, and we are going to log in now. Now, these are various kinds of training courses, but I'm going to show you how I used it for a particular online course, which is a Pyrex course. Now, this is an experimental course which we set up in the system, which runs on its own, which means that you can, I can launch the course, inform the students, they will register, and then it's like a plug and play. It will run by itself without me interacting until the end of the course when I can see my scores. Okay, I just go, I finish everything, all the lectures are over, and then I go back to my grade book. For example, I tell them, finish this particular course on the 30th of December. And on 30th of December, I will grade you. So then I go in and I grade it and I give them the marks. Now, this is for a short course. It's a mini course. It's a MOOC course. So I'll show you how it's set up. Now, how you do it is by using a specific. Okay. So you turn your editing on. Okay. Now, this is a particular module here. It is basic and it contains a lecture note and so on and so forth. Now, if you look here, I'm going to zoom on this. I'm going to zoom on it so it's more clear on your screen if you're using a small phone or a tablet. So this is the lecture here, but you can see here, restricted, not available unless the activity course description is marked complete, which means the student cannot view this until they view the next one. So the course description is actually on top. So they cannot view my first lecture until they view the course description. So this is what, this is how you set it up. So now when you click here, you will see this edit button. Just click on edit settings. Okay. Now, what you see is your content. Okay. So this is the video lecture. This is the embedded content and it says display description on course page. You need to select this button and you have your page content, which is actually the hyperlink or the, code, the HTML code to the above content. And then you have appearance, common module settings, and you have a restrict access. Now, this is the button which you need to click on in order to enable this conditional formatting. You click on restrict access and the student must, okay? You have three options, student must not, okay? So you can click on must, student must watch this particular activity completion. So when you click on this, right, you will see all your particular activities here. So the student must view the course description, must be marked as complete before they move on to the next setting. So if you want to remove this, you can just click here and you can take it away. So that means you don't have a conditional formatting for this particular lecture note. Then you can add more restriction. For example, you can add under restriction, they must use, you must do it by a certain date. You can do it by a certain grade if you have graded that course. You can do it by a user profile. You don't want certain students to see it, and you can do a restriction set which is complex. So usually we don't do this. Usually we do it by either by activity completion or by grade. If you do it by grade, you need to have a quiz in your settings. For example, student can only view content on lecture 2 if they view content on lecture 1 and get a grade of 80% or they score 80% in the quiz. Then they can move on to lecture 2 or else the system will lock itself. Okay, so this is how you set it up. So once you set it up, you need to click on another very important button to set up conditional logic, which is this activity completion, which is the student has to view it as completed. Student must view this activity to complete it. So once you set it up, the completion setting will automatically be set. If you want to enable it by a certain date, for example, your lecture is on 12th and you want them to watch it by 11th, you can set this, but generally don't be so restrictive because then they will be, they may turn off from, and then you save and display. Once it's done, you save and display. Now, what happens is that in this particular course, online course, everything is linked to another. So they have to do this, and only when they do this, they move on to this. When they complete this, if you see this one, it says restricted until the video lecture is, so they have to watch this. So the conditional logic has been set for in cascade. So everything is linked to the next one. So that is the way in which you set up, and they cannot do the assessment until they view everything else. Okay, so the assignment is blocked. So they are blocked until they view everything else. So in that way, you know, at least they watched your content and they did not, it has a limitation on their copying or what they known as your ability to plagiarize the information. So you will see that. So your assignment generally is based on what was delivered in your lecture notes. So is it clear how you can use conditional formatting in the Smart 3, or you want me to go through it again, or any comment?
Dr. Kenneth.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very useful. That means when the student view, let's say, the course description. Yeah. After they view, then they have, is there any button for them to click to confirm that they have already viewed?
No, because in the course, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Actually, in the course description, right, I have a setting actually. So this, for example, is the course description. I will show you. I just turn on the editing on first. So I will show you how. So I have actually set in this, the course description. I turn on, okay. So I'll just show you how it is done. Edit setting. in the course description, right, I have set it up like this. So you go down to your, for example, the first object which you put in the system, okay, the first object, and then you click on activity completion. Now you can click here, and if it's not there, you will see here unlock completion option. Okay, so in this one you will see the activity completion. Student show activity as complete when the first one is do not indicate activity completion, which means the system will by default not look for activity completion at all. Now students can manually mark the activity as complete. Now if you give this to the student, they will override your command. You have to select the last one, show activity as complete when conditions are met. So that's the conditional setting. So once you set this condition and you save and display or save and return to the course, it is already set as a conditional for the next view. So only when this one has been set, then you can move on to the next level. Dr. Amir, is that explains it?
Okay, so they just have to view in it, and then to in order for them to view the video.
Yeah. It can.
They have to view the course description first without pressing any button to confirm that they've already viewed, and then once they view the course description, then they can move on watching the video, right?
Yeah, you can actually set a forced download, which forces them to download that description. Actually, we do not know whether they actually read through the description, but at least you get a like some kind of a limitation. So otherwise, they will just jump across the lecture into lectures randomly, and then they will basically disrupt their learning process. Okay, doctor?
Right, that's clear. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. So I hope you all can use this because it saves a lot of time. You don't have to ask in your lecture. Have you all seen the lecture note? Because you can set a condition for them. Only those who view the lecture note can enter my Google class. Okay, so you can put it in the link. The next link to Google class, you can set a condition. Only those who view the lecture note will enter my Google class. Okay, so you can make it quite strict or rigorous based on your teaching style. Okay, so that's about it. So this is the conditional logic which we have in the system. Okay, I'm just going to ask Dr. Rozaimi, do I have time to explain the next? Dr. Rozaimi, do I have a time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have some time because for our tentative is until 11:30.
Okay. So I don't, please interrupt me if I'm exceeding the time because today is Jumaat. So please interrupt me. Otherwise I'll keep on talking because I have my content in front of me. I need to show you some content which is useful. So some of the important things which you are, which I'm going to show you today are the other links. Okay, so I'm just going to go up. I'm not projecting my slide again because of this. My network is saying that I'm overloading with too many windows. Okay, so I'll just skip. So the first one which we have learned is actually Flipgrid. Flipgrid is good for interaction. So in the slides I have shared with you is the links are actually active. So you can click on Flipgrid, it will take you to the link. And then is the conditional logic with Smart V3. Now I'm going to show you something which is known as Edpuzzle. So again, I have to close some of my windows or else it will hang. So I will just close by something known as Edpuzzle. So I will show you Edpuzzle. Okay. Now what is Edpuzzle? Edpuzzle, earlier we had a lot of free. Now again, I wanted to, my dilemma this, when I was setting up this training, right, is the dilemma is that last year, even 2 months ago, most of the software online was free. Kahoot was free, but now it's limited to 10 users. Then Mentimeter also is limiting to certain number of users. And then the H5P has now become a paid version. So all of them are paid and they are too expensive for us to actually use and too expensive to buy as well. Now, what we have is something known as Edpuzzle. Has anyone used Edpuzzle before? Has anyone used Edpuzzle? Anybody can just turn on the mic because I cannot see the chat. Edpuzzle is actually a platform for creating content for students. Now, if I click on the content I created, is like this. So you have a video. Okay, I'll show you a video preview. Now, this video is actually an instructional video which I've shot in the lab. Okay, so the video which you use in Edpuzzle should preferably be on YouTube or Vimeo or any other channel. So you can just insert the link. Now, what happened with this video, right? I just turn off the volume.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to this tutorial on the usage of the PCR thermal cycler.
This is a common instrument found in most. Okay, this is the interactive video in which I want to teach students how to use this particular instrument. But they cannot come to the lab because virtual lab. So hoping that they will come later on, but I have to train them first. So what I do, I create an interactive video with an interactive element here. Okay, so this is the interaction element. So what happens is that once the video once the video reaches this particular point, it will ask a question, MCQ. What is the setting of temperature, default or by choice? Now, if I click on choice, it will tell me the answer is correct or not. So submit, and then it says 100% out of 100%. And then they can continue watching the video. If they give the wrong answer, they will have a problem. I will show you how it's done. So, okay, suppose I give them the same video and then it's, I just reload. So it resets. Okay. Now, if I give them the same video and I reached here, okay, I reached at this point, and then I said the setting for temperature is by default. Okay, that's the instrument setting, which I've explained in the video, and I submit, the answer is wrong. Now, what they have to do is they have to rewatch, or they can skip the video, but if they skip, they will not see. So this is one of the good video, interactive video creation platforms, which is available online. Okay, now how do we set it up? I'll very briefly go into it. Maybe I can do a training for you and add puzzles separately if permitted, but I will just briefly go into it. Now in your system, right, when you log into Add Puzzle, you will see your various content over there. All you do is you click on Add Content. Okay, so add content. So it allows you to add content in the system. Okay, so you can add a folder for your students. Second, I just add it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a discover video content. Okay, so you can either add content from existing videos or you can add your own content. So here you have my content. So if I have a content here, I can go to videos, okay, and I can add a video content to this system. Okay, I will just add a content. Okay, I click here, upload video. Okay, and you can either choose a file or you can add from Google Drive. Once you add a file, you can modify the file. Now I'm not going to do it now because if I download and upload the file, it's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to show you how you can, once you add the content, how to edit it. So I go to my content, okay, and I'll use the same example of this particular video. I click on this video, I stop it for a while, and I can edit this video. Okay, now this is the video which I want to do, and I've explained to them how to adjust the temperature and how to complete the cycling procedure in this video, for example. So what I do, I move this tab here to this point. Now, remember that in the video, you need to explain certain things and then you need to add things to that. So I'll edit it, click edit. And to this video, I want to add a question. So I add a question there. So I move to a link. So you have to actually play the video and you can move it up there. So I move it up to here. I play it and I have to move it up to there. Okay. Now I add a question. So I can add a question. Okay. So I can add 3 types of question: multiple question, open-ended question, or a note. If you add a note, it will just show up as a pop-up in the video. So I add a multiple question is, what is the final temperature setting for storage? Okay. So this is covered in the video. So this is the question. And then here I put 2 temperatures. One is 16 degrees and one is 4 degrees. Okay. So I have 4 degrees Celsius. They will know 16 degrees Celsius. So I won't add that now. We add it later. So you can add your degrees and so on and so forth, but we won't do that now because if everything I add will take time. So this is the correct answer. So I click here, correct answer. Now it's saved. Okay, save, and it's done. Now this is added to the interaction. So once I finish, the video will actually show up here. So this video is actually on YouTube. All I did is I uploaded a link. So when I click here, for example, I click here. Okay, I move to this point and click here. You will see the interaction. Okay, so I just go back to my folder, my content, and again I start this video because I need to restart that. And then I click here on this link. Okay, so I switch it on and I slide here with this particular button and I click on this link. Now when you see here, you will see a multiple choice coming over here and you will have to answer it in the same way as I showed you earlier. The wrong answer will not carry a point and it will ask you to rewatch the video all over again. So this is the way in which you use the Edpuzzle system to modify or create interactive videos. You can use your own videos, and you can also use videos from YouTube. Okay, so I just, for example, I reached here, then it stops here. It says, what is the final temperature setting for storage? If I click 16, it's correct. If 4, it says, and then I submit it, and I get an answer for that. So it's wrong, so I have to rewatch. So that means I have to rewatch the whole video all over again. So this is the way in which you convert your videos into interactive content. Okay, so that's another one which I want to show to you today. So that's Edpuzzle. Now, the most popular one which we all use is Jamboard. Okay, so let's do a Jamboard now. So I just show you. I think do you all use Jamboard or whiteboard? Do you use Jamboard or whiteboard? Okay, so you can invite people to. Are you all using? Anybody of you use Jamboard? Okay.
No, Doctor.
You don't use Jamboard. Okay. Use whiteboard? No. So for example, you want to annotate, your student want to annotate your screen. How do they annotate? You can't do that. So we actually use whiteboard. Okay. I just stop sharing for a while and I share a Jamboard. Okay. So in your settings, right? I don't think you can see my screen now. In your settings for a Google Meet, it will be called whiteboard or Jamboard. It's the app is Jamboard. In our setting, it's called whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to create a whiteboard here and I will just share it with you so it's visible to everyone else. Okay, now I'm sharing my whiteboard with you. Now, in order to access that, right, you can either use your mouse, but it's going to be difficult. I use this tablet. Actually, last time we have some at the Center for E-Learning, but this is a personal tablet, which is very cheap. This is a Huion HS64. Okay, it's a cheaper tablet than most of the expensive high-end tablet, and it's used by educators all over. And it comes with a pen. So this is very easy to interact with on the Jamboard setting. So this is the interactive element because I can also assign you to use the Jamboard. Okay. Now, suppose I draw something here. Okay. Okay. Now you are in your respective location, right? Try and draw on the Jamboard. Okay. Try and draw on the Jamboard. Can any of you draw on it? Because I have enabled everyone to participate. Okay. Can you try and draw on the Jamboard? Just use your mouse or even your finger if you are using a tablet. Can you draw? Anyone can draw on it? So I'm using a pen. I can change to marker. I can change to other stuff. Okay, I can draw a line. You can change the color and so on and so forth. Can any of you try to interact with the Jamboard? Cannot interact.
Still trying to find the button to draw.
Okay. It's at the side. Actually, everyone is enabled here. So everyone is enabled to draw. So the button will be at the side. If you are using a handphone, it's a little bit difficult to find, but if you're using a desktop, it should be easy. So generally in a whiteboard, right, I will upload a picture. I will upload a picture or a diagram and ask the student to mark on that diagram. You can also insert links. So lock meeting, it's invite and remind, copy meeting link, connect to video system. Okay, it should be okay. It's connected to everyone. Anybody can just try and move their mouse across the screen. Just move your mouse just so that you learn how to use it. Okay. Actually, this is one of the ways in which we measure interaction is by when we are in the class, right? We actually request the students to please post something on the Jamboard. So based on the response, we actually figure out allow to annotate all. Okay. Doctor, can you see it now? Annotation? You can annotate. Just move your screen.
I can see now.
Yeah, I can see, right? Because the network was a bit slow. So now it is okay. So I'll clear all my content first. Okay, now see, you can annotate. So you can actually create. Now this is very good for you to create an object on which you ask the student to either put in text, put in content, or just share information. Okay, so that's the annotation window. Okay, so I will stop this and because I have to stop at 11 because I want to show you Discord. That is the most, so I stop. So please excuse me while I stop this. So you get the general idea. So in Google, we generally call it Jamboard. So in here it's whiteboard, and Zoom has its own type of stuff. So I stop sharing this. So I go back to stop share.
Sorry, Doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you allow them to use this whiteboard, that means when the time you share your slide screen, your lecture notes, that means you have to unshare your notes first, isn't it?
Yes, doctor, that's correct. You unshare your lecture note and then you open the Jamboard. It can be shared simultaneously, but then it's going to have a problem if your network or your PC is slow. Okay, so I'm using a desktop in the Bioinfo lab, so it's enabling that more easily.
Okay, thank you.
So if you're with your handphone, this is difficult to do. So if you're using Google, no worries. You have a Jamboard there, which has the same function. So generally, I will explain things like some concepts which are difficult to explain in the class. Like, for example, I want to explain a chemical reaction. I will use this tool because otherwise it's almost impossible to explain. You can draw here, you can draw your molecules and your structures and whatever and so on and so forth. So this is a good tool to share. So I'll revert back to my screen, my Google Chrome screen, and I share it. Okay. Now the problem with this thing is that it creates, sometimes when you have too many things, right, on the system, it will actually hang. So I have to close everything else before I show you Okay, this is something which I wanted to share. Can you see the screen? What I'm sharing, the OB1 Kenobi is there. Can you see the screen? Okay, okay. This is actually Discord server. Now, Discord, what is Discord? Discord is actually like WhatsApp. It's only you create a learning space for your student in which they can interact. Okay. Now, the Discord server will run irrespective of you. So if you, for example, create a Discord server, you can actually enable the learning space beyond the class. So they will go on interacting. You don't have to be part of it unless you want to be part of it. Generally, for my Discord server, I'll tell the students after I will be available on Discord on Friday morning at so-and-so to so-and-so, and then that's my Discord. And you can record your Discord interaction for your course file as well, okay, by capturing the screen and saving the file or backing it up. How do you set it up? Now go to discord.com on your respective desktop. You have to set it up from desktop, and you can install Discord on your system from the Discord server. So once Discord is installed on your desktop or your PC, it's very useful. If you want to install on your app, it's good, but you don't get the full functionality of Discord on the app. However, you can set it up for the different engagements. Okay, let me explain to you Discord server very briefly because I think our kids know more about Discord than us. Okay, now what Discord has is three basic elements. The first one is the element here, which is on the left side, which is actually the channels. In this channel, right, you can have information and general channel. I will show you how to set it up. On this side is the bot. Now, what is a bot and why is a bot so important in Discord? Discord has these bots. Okay. Now, suppose you want to moderate the class, but you're too busy to actually check who is posting some, for example, they are posting some comments or links, which are not, you have to set it up using the bot. Okay. So these are some of the bots which I selected. For example, Me6 is actually one of the bot which enables the student to create a rank. For example, the most active student, he can actually put here, he just put a code like this, slash, it's a exclamation mark and rank. Okay. So you get rank. Okay. I'll show you how it works. So this is Kenneth Rodrigues rank. So it shows my rank in the class. Now this is an experimental server. So I'm sharing with you an experimental server. I will show you how to set it up. Okay. Let's set up the simple Discord server for you. Go to your Discord account, open a Discord account first, and then you click on add a server. Okay, there'll be a button here which says add a server. It asks you what kind of server you want to create. If you're creating a server for gaming, school club, etc., etc. So usually we don't do this. You can create for study group. Okay. So when you create a study group, it creates channels inside the server by itself. Okay. So if you want to create, okay, let's create for study group, or you can create your own study group. Okay. Now, for me and my friends or for a club and community. If you create it for me and my friends, the Discord server is only for you and your class. If you create for club and community, it becomes open to the whole world. Now, you will ask me why the Discord is becoming very, very popular nowadays as compared to the other messaging platforms, because Discord allows you to, for example, you have a psychology class, psychology community in Sabah, UMS. You want to link it to with a psychology community in maybe in Harvard or somewhere else. They have their own Discord server. You can connect to their server and become part of their server ecosystem as well. So it creates interactive networks. That is one of the key driver of Discord. Okay, so I'll just create a server and then you upload an icon. You can call it, for example, training server. So we call it a training server and we create it. Now this server becomes active. Now this is the training server itself. Now I can create information here. The first information is welcome and notes. The second one is references. It also can have channels. For example, you can create, I have a biosafety server, training server. Okay, I'll show you, give you an example. Okay, I'll just show you the server. So this is a training server. I shift to the other server. Okay, in the other server, you can actually view things. Okay, now this is a video I did in the e-learning server. So you can actually edit from an emoji. Students can interact with the server using the respective channel. Now, if you want a training on Discord, I can conduct it for you, including how to add the bots. Okay, so I leave it up to you. If you're interested, you can just ask me, I will do a training. It just takes around 30 minutes for me to show you how to set up a Discord server. But this is giving you an idea of what Discord is all about. So once you set up your server, like for example, training server, I can invite people. I can invite you by sending you a link. Okay, let's try it out for fun. Okay, I copy this link. Okay, copy, and I'm going to share it in chat. Okay, let's invite you to the server. Okay, let's have some interaction. I will invite you to the server using chat. 1 second. So need to again open up the chat and I invite you to the server. Okay, now I've given you a Discord link. You log in and you click. This is what our kids are doing when they're actually linking up. Can you click on the link and join the server? So I have not set the authentication by phone, so it should be okay to along. Okay, that's it. Somebody come into the server. Okay, which? Okay, I can say, hi, Amir. Hi. So this is Amir. Dr. Amir, do you use Discord? So
not that active, Doctor.
You're not using Discord? Are you using?
I used to use it before, not that active.
Oh, okay. For my student, I use. So generally, I make study room 1 where I learn, for example, teaching. Okay. That is the sound. That is the noise from the Discord server. That is the one which the kids are always. You will hear them. That sound. That's Discord has become very useful. Okay, so you can say hi everybody. So you can say hello everybody. Okay. Now I want you to do something, the simplest thing, because before we are already reaching 11. I want you to check your rank. Okay. Just click exclamation mark and rank. Okay. So it gives you, okay, let's see your rank. See, I put question mark and rank, sorry, shift and rank. I have to add, wait, I add the rank server, 1 minute. I add the rank server to this. I add the rank bot. Okay. Now you can add to this bot. Okay. I add this bot. Okay. So I have to add a bot to this. So I have to go out to add bot. Okay. So I can add this bot. So me6, this bot. Okay, so these are dis bots. So this is called a dis bot. So this is a Discord bot. Okay, so this is a Discord. So you add to Discord. Okay, you can see me adding this. So I add it to my me6. Okay, access username, authorize. Okay. So, okay, this is my training server. Okay, setup. Okay, add it to the server. So you can see me, I'm adding a bot. Okay, continue. Okay, so yes, and authorize. Okay. I am a human, etc. Okay, skip. Oh, I have to show all this emoji containing a truck, so on and so forth. Truck. Oh, truck. Okay, truck and so on. Next. Oh, it's containing a truck. I need to. Okay. Okay, so me6 is going to add to our server. Okay, let's go into my server back again. Okay, you should be able to see me. Okay, I can see all of you. Okay, so now everybody is active in Discord. Now everyone is active, but if it's in chat, no one is active. Okay, now let's look for rank. Okay, see your rank. Okay, click exclamation mark and rank. Type rank. This is the click. You just click your rank. You'll see your rank. Okay. Okay, now with Discord, right? Because I'm sharing my, I can share my video. For example, I can share streaming. Okay, so let's share. So So it takes time because if it's more than 50, Discord will not connect. Okay, so I'm sharing a video, but it's okay. It's okay. I won't share my video now because it's going to, your time is already there. I don't want to disturb you. So launch and cancel. Yeah. Back general. And so you can see your rank. So can you see your individual rank? Just answer me. Can you see your individual rank or not? Okay, slash command. So you just use slash command. So this is actually a very useful tool. So you can see your slash help slash. So if you add a slash, you can add something to the queue. You can add playlist and so on and so forth. The beauty about Discord, right? It allows you to add content. Okay, I'll show you how to add content. So for example, I go to a YouTube channel. I want student to watch a certain YouTube. Okay, I will stop 1 minute. I will share 1 second. Okay, I stop this and I share. Okay, I want to share the video. Okay, share. I click on any video. Okay, just watch this. Okay. See, this is why the Discord is very useful. Okay, suppose I want to share something. Okay, I just share a link to YouTube. Okay. Okay, you can watch the link directly in the Discord server. Now, suppose you're teaching students, this becomes very useful. For example, the students say, oh, I didn't understand this thing, or I didn't understand that thing. All you do is share that, and then, yes, it'll ask you to, it'll give you a link, and you can watch the link from the server. You can also share quiz, you can share a lecture note, you can share everything in the server. But only thing, when you create Discord account, you should make sure that you organize the content well. So that's why we have the information channel. Generally for information channel, we have welcome and rule. We have notes and resources. Okay. And this is our lecture note. And then we can have a general channel for chatting like this, having fun. And you can always check your rank by putting #/rank. There are many commands, shortcut commands. That's what you see. So I just share it again on Meta. RANK. So rank. 1 minute. Can you check your rank? Okay, so every time you share, you'll see your score. What's your rank? Number 2, number 1, and so on and so forth. So this is how you add. I think this is the most entertaining and interactive stuff which I can actually think about when it comes down to student. Immediately people pick up. And one of the things they have done, psychologists have studied Discord, and actually what they have seen is that your what allows you to interact, right, is that particular sound. That sound is actually making people share. Okay, I stop sharing. So I cancel. I stop sharing. Yeah, every time you get the prompt, you will feel like sharing more information because the noise. Okay, so I think I have come to the end of today's session. We don't have time, and today is Friday, so I will stop sharing. Okay. So we will end our session here. If you have any comments, you can place them either in the chat, or because the chat is being recorded, or you can put them in Discord. Okay. I have many other things which you want to share, but time is limited. So I will turn back to Dr. Rozaimi. I'll stop sharing this thing. I'm afraid to stop sharing because. Okay, I go back to my video. Okay. Go back to my. I please stop sharing. I share cancel. I cancel my sharing. Can you still see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I just share 1 minute. Google Chrome. Okay. Share. Sorry, Dr. Rozaimi. I think I exceeded the time, but sometimes we get carried away, especially when you're teaching these type of stuffs.
Maybe we need a specific time. Okay.
Yeah.
To learn more.
Yeah.
On how we want to engage with the student.
Yeah.
On the specific apps, especially lah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe we have any question from participant or lecturer. Maybe you can ask, either you want to ask directly or just through the chat.
You can chat on Discord also, because this Discord is active.
Dr. Kenneth.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Earlier on your slide, you talk about having an engagement with the students via quiz. So you have the pre-lecture quiz, mid-lecture quiz, kan?
Yeah.
May I know which platform you use to have the quiz?
Thank you, Dr. Amir. Actually, to keep it simple, right, I use Google Chrome, the Google quiz. So I just go to Chrome and I use the quiz in that, because what I observe is that the platform like the Kahoot, right, is now paid platform. So it's difficult to get that. So I prefer to use the quiz in the Google form. I will just show you. So you are using Google form, right?
Oh, so you use Google Form, is it?
Yeah, I use Google Form because Google Form is easier to engage and it's faster. So you just go to forms. So just go to form and then use your form. I will show you, for example, how we do it. So this is the pre-lecture quiz. Okay, so during the lecture, I give this, prior to the lecture, I give the quiz and I check the response. Now, what I do during the presentation, right, the first lecture, I will actually explain to them what is the answer, and this is what I explain to them one by one. I go through them. Oh, this means that, and what is the correct answer? Okay, so this is the interaction for the pre-lecture, and then post I give them, and then the difference between the two is actually what I know what I have taught and where I have made limitations of my teaching. Okay, doctor?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
So, Doctor, how about quiz through Smart UMS?
Okay, the quiz through Smart UMS can also be done, but for that one you require, if you're going to do it in a live setting, you need all of them have to be on a good network connection. Because if you have set a time, it will actually, sometimes it may have a problem with that. It's always good for them to do the quiz. For example, you give the quiz and they do it at their own pace, it's better. But for the live quiz, right, during the interactive quiz, I usually use the Google form. Earlier, I used to use Kahoot, but Kahoot no more because it's too expensive now. So we use the Google form. It's good enough. It serves the purpose.
Because for my course, I teach mathematics. So
Yeah.
maybe for the
Formula.
formula is quite problem for me,
Yeah.
because they have a limit symbol.
Yeah,
So maybe that one, just I try ask student to write it up on paper and just upload.
Yeah, it's challenging. The number of symbol is limited.
Yeah.
Doctor. But in this one, they can actually upload a file. So that's the limitation of that. For example, your integration, if you're doing definite integral A to B, then double integral, I think that's going to be difficult. Fx, dx, though some are there, but some sigma and all, but the general one, the more difficult one are not there.
Yeah. So maybe other participant, if you want to ask. Okay, so maybe, Doctor, maybe there's no one more.
Okay. So I will set up a Discord server for you and give you the admin control maybe. So we can build up from there. Actually, you can set up a Discord server in in your respective center, and then we can have a session there as well in the Discord. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Kenneth Francis, for giving us such informative and interesting presentation. Maybe we need more time to learn specific items to keep engaged with students through our course. Okay, and then so all participants, finally we come to the end of this talk series. Okay, on behalf of PPKA, I would like to thank the speaker for the informative and interesting presentation, and all the participants for the very active participation. Okay. So thank you very much. So maybe we have a photo session.
Okay.
So all participants may switch on your camera.
Dr. Rozaimi, can you stop sharing my screen? I think my screen is my screen is not shared anymore, right? Close already, Tutu?
No.
Still there. Can
Yeah.
you stop sharing it, because my system is not stopping, others it will block your screen, I think. Can you see everyone on the screen already?
Whiteboard is still there, Doctor, on the screen.
Yeah, I think I cannot stop. Sorry, I cannot. How to? It's not stopping sharing. I think the system hang. It may crash. Okay. Just stop it because I think it's hanging here. Okay. Oh. It stopped. Yeah. It should not be sharing actually, but cancel. I cannot cancel it. Maybe the admin can cancel.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Kashfi boleh cancel kah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you cancel Pan Kashfi? Sorry, because my system is actually hanging.
I think
So
Kashfi is a host.
just click.
Yang hostnya will cancel. Linda. Boleh cancel kah?
Boleh dah. Kalau boleh,
Cancel. Sorry. It get hang.
Bolehkah Kak Linda tolong cancel? Macam saya tak dapat juga ni.
Cannot because sometimes it hang. The system actually hang from my.
Unfortunately, there's no button to cancel. To
Yeah,
unsee
it
from-
hang.
from
Actually,
Linda's
I hang
thing,
the button, but the button hang.
Yeah, I think it's hang
Switch audio
somewhere.
video setting. It hang somewhere.
But I think it's okay. Like we can continue with the apa ni photography
Yeah,
with,
okay, yeah,
with
I
the
think we
whiteboard
can
in
continue.
background.
Okay.
Maybe too many windows open.
Yeah. Too many windows open, so it's actually hang the system. But
okay lah. We can continue with the photography lah session dah.
yeah.
With the whiteboard. Baru nampak interaction dia.
Okay.
Okay, boleh. Kashfi boleh.
Dr. Kenneth boleh on camera kah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. I was
Oh,
afraid
okay.
it hang on.
Cepat, saya checking. Oh. Sekejap saya tengok page-page yang buka lah. Buka kamera ya, sekejap lah. Okay, we go for anu lah. Page 1 dulu ah. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, sekejap. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Sikit page 2 ah. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Sini ramai sikit. Smile. Sudah. Page 3. Adakah? Okay, ada yang buka kamera sini. So last page pun tiada juga. Alright. Itu saja. Thank you.
Thank you. Terima
everyone.
kasih, Puan Kasvi. Terima kasih, Dr. Rozaimi.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you very much for inviting us and allowing the Center for E-Learning to share this thing with you.
Maybe
Thank you.
again.
Thank you, Dr. Kenneth. Great job
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Kenneth.
Terima
Thank you,
kasih. Thank you,
PPKA.
Prof.
Dr. Kenneth. Thank you, Dr.
Bye-bye.
Prof. Fong, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah, stay
everybody.
safe.
Okay.
Sorry, this thing could not be stopped. That's a problem. Yeah, hang. Thank you, Pan. Okay.